last time I could feel that power in my hands. Beat of the drums rushing through my skin.
Welcome to the tank.
Watch me turn my disadvantages to my advantage.
Running it back, throws the alley-oop and jammed in by Delpesh.
No matter the odds that I can win, and when life knocks me down, just
Delpesh with a big block.
watch me go again.
Drops it up to Delpesh with the one-handed hammer.
We're in Sheffield's Shark Tank for our first taste of live BBL action in 2023. The Bristol Flyers are reaching new heights this season, but can they keep their title challenge going here in the Steel City? Welcome to Friday Night Basketball here on Sky Sports. Good to have you with us. Our first live action of the year, and it is all to play for. The league title is wide open. Mike Tuck, Kieran Achara, present and correct. Good to see you both. And Kieran, who'd have thought, at the start of the season anyway, that we'd be here in January talking up the Bristol Flyers as title contenders?
Well, Mike Tuck definitely did it.
Here we go.
Hush, but
Here we go.
No, but in all seriousness, they believed from the start that they've been relentless, attacking the glass, really at it every single game. They know that they deserve to be here right now.
See, throws you under the bus. Did you have him as title? No, he didn't. No, he's
Drew Lasker didn't either.
Drew's not even here to defend himself. So the Flyers rolling. Different story for the Sharks. They've lost 5 on the bounce. They're on tilt right now. Both teams then have a lot to play for tonight, Mike.
Yeah, a big game for both clubs. Obviously, the Sharks on a poor run of games leading up here before the halfway mark. But they've been a team that kind of been plagued by injury and sickness. And now, bringing in 2 new guys, this is a breath of fresh air that the Sharks need.
We're going to key in on those 2 new players in just a bit. But in terms of the broader league title race, I say it's wide open. London clearly in the box seat right now, but because they are battling on so many fronts, as we expected, they've got games coming thick and fast. It's maybe not as clear-cut as it might seem, right?
Yeah, I mean, you look at London, right? They've got Euro Cup games, they've got BBL domestic games, they've got Cup games, trophy games, all these games coming at them. So the biggest thing with them is going to be load management, and can they survive through without injury?
Victims of their own success. Well, they are top of the pile in the league right now, a superb 13-2 record. Bristol, defending champions Leicester, remain in touch. Cheshire, they sit in 4th with 10 victories, whilst Manchester, Caledonia and Plymouth, they're a couple of wins back on 16 points. And after that pretty poor run of form, we talked about Sheffield now perilously near the danger zone. Card-carrying members of that neck of the woods, Surrey and Newcastle. So let's break it down a little bit. Let's start at the bottom of World Cup. Are Surrey dead and buried, or can they claw their way back into the reckoning?
I mean, Surrey's a team, they've got a lot of transition things in this season, new coach, new general manager, some new players, but 2 wins on the season. It's going to be a tough draw for them, but a big win in the trophy against them last week against the Bristol Flyers, and all it takes is 1 game to kind of get your season going. So they're a team that is stacked with talent and have the potential, but can they put it together?
Yeah, it's a great point. That could be a key win to be the catalyst and kickstart things. Newcastle down there as well, but they've won 3 of their last 4. There's been a huge amount of change in Newcastle, but that seems par for the course right now in the BBL.
I wouldn't be surprised if they changed city at the rate they're going at this moment in time. But they have brought in a lot of talent, a lot of experience. Justin Gordon, obviously the big addition they've just added, who has won. Drew Lasker will always talk about their playoff success a couple of years back. But I'm excited to see where they go. I genuinely believe that they have the pieces. It's just finding a way to get that identity, and that's what they've been lacking. I don't know if they're a defensive team or an offensive team just yet.
I want to talk about Manchester with you, Mike, because they seem to be a pivotal team and therefore representative of many teams right now that go on run a couple of wins and they're up there pushing for a high seed. They lose a few and they're dropping down the table. It's so condensed in the middle, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. The middle of the table right now is so condensed. So many teams kind of on level in terms of wins and losses. But that's exciting to see for us as fans, right? You want to see a little bit of parity throughout the league. But Manchester, another one of those teams. So much experience on that team. A couple little losses here and there, but they're a team that could turn it around in a jiffy.
Now, the last team London lost to in the league were Bristol, and they also beat Leicester earlier this month as well, proving that they can stack up with any team in the BBL. And putting up 91 points against a Rob Paternoster defense, that is always an impressive feat, Mike Tuck.
Yeah, huge. I mean, Bristol Flyers always play well at home, but like we said earlier, wow, look at that play. Like we said earlier in the episode here, that the Bristol Flyers are just playing with that chip on their shoulder this season. They're playing aggressive, and I think, I think me and Kieran should take credit for that. Just inciting and lighting that fire under them, picking them low. But talking to Delpesh right before the game here, he said that actually our pitchers were on one of their group chats. So I think we've got our targets on our backs as well.
Locker room material, I love that. Well, Bristol going great guns in the league, not so much in the trophy. As you mentioned, Mike, they crashed out to Surrey in the first round. That was in the bottom half of the draw. The rest of the first round played out like this. The Long Journey did St Mirren no favours at all in what was an already tough matchup against the Patriots. The Derby Trailblazers ensured that they're going to be the only non-BBL side in the quarters by beating Team Wales. Caledonia put a smile on Kieran's face. Mind you, he often has a big smile on his face. Victory over the Eagles. Disappointing that Drew isn't here to soak that up. And London avoided a major upset with a solid win over an expected win, it should be said, over Worthing Thunder. In the bottom half, a confirmation of the surprise of the round, Bristol getting ousted by the league's bottom club, Surrey. Cheshire got the defence of the trophy crown off to a good start against Nottingham. The Sharks secured their place in the last 8 with a victory over another NBL team, Thames Valley. And in what was probably the pick of the first round games, Leicester came through in overtime for the second time in a month against the Giants. And what a game this was. In particular, the Taj Green, 38 points, 14 rebounds. Mike, what a sensation he has been.
Oh, what a sensation he's been all season, and this game just magnified that. He is a guy that can play all around the court. He's able to knock down the shot and also throw down some shots like that underneath the rim. But this was such an exciting game to watch. Obviously a super high scoring game. The game was going end to end and ended up getting dragged out into overtime with Manchester just giving it up at the end.
Mark Loving had a big game as well for the Riders, 32 points, 13 boards. Are they both, him and Taj Green, in the MVP conversation, do you think?
You know what? I'm looking at Sam Decker right now, and I think he's just playing a level above at this moment in time. But Taj Green is so fun to watch in this league, and Mark Lovin just gets it done to the point that we get, you get bored because you expect it from him every single game. Yeah,
brilliant from both of them. Excellent win for Leicester. That was the game of the round. The shock of the round was Surrey taking down Bristol. What gelled for the Scorchers in this game that hasn't been for most of their campaign, Kieran?
Boban Jack Domi, right there. He really strong finish, really dominated the paint. And they're kind of getting their legs. Andrew Lawrence back into the mix, controlling the tempo of the game as well. I think Surrey are a team. I picked them as my surprise team at the start of the season. I still believe they're going to cause a lot of surprises for a lot of teams this second half of the season.
Dark horse for the trophy then? Is that what you're calling?
They're going to cause a lot of problems this second half of the season.
Right on the fence there. Before the trophy gets sorted out, well, the first bit of major silverware of the season will be taken care of next weekend. And it's fair to say it is a tale of two cities.
What a final we have. The Riders going head-to-head with the Lions in both the WBBL and BBL Cup finals. First silverware of the season is on the line here. Oh my goodness! A Leicester-London doubleheader on the biggest stage.
It's the WBBL and the BBL Cup final.
Live on Sky Sports.
Yeah, next Sunday, the 29th of January, we're live from the Utilita Arena in Birmingham for the first major showcase of the year, with the Leicester Riders and the London Lions contesting both the WBBL and the BBL finals. We're going to be on air from 11:30 a.m. on Sky Sports Arena, and it's bound to be another fabulous day of British basketball. As far as the BBL final is concerned, two powerhouses, of course, going head-to-head. How have London and Leicester matched up together this season? What have been your takeaways on their matchups this season?
I think Leicester got to a really slow start of the season. They're still finding themselves after losing Gino Crandall, but they've been playing with a lot of confidence. They've got a new addition just came in, another guard, another replacement there. So I just feel, for me, that Lions have had just a little bit more consistency, a little bit more togetherness. But Leicester are showing signs of old that they can compete with the best of them.
They are going to go into this game as underdogs, Mike. They're not used to that status, really, are they?
No, but I think, knowing Coach Rob Paternostro pretty well, I think that's a role that he'll kind of relish. He likes to play with that grit. He likes to drive his guys and find a way to inspire them. So I think that's something that they'll really like to do. And you look at London, and they're the big guys on the block. So what better team to knock them off than the Leicester Riders?
Well, the Leicester Riders looking to defend their title, of course. They went into last year's game against Manchester as the favourites, and they certainly lived up to the hype.
It is the BBL Cup final as Leicester and Manchester go head-to-head. Steele driving in and finishing at the rim. To the turnaround ball away, off the glass.
He's looked extremely aggressive.
So you wanna be a
Floored by Gino Crandall. Leicester with all the momentum right now. Jackson drives hard, scores and one. Armstrong behind the back, Clark for another three. Danforth, second three of the game. Nelson Henry saves it, gets it away, and strikes it. Crandall at the free throw line, and he knocks down another shot. He's heating up. McKenzie has room. Strings another triple. And Crandall steps underneath. Crandall wins that battle. Are you not entertained? The Leicester Riders are the 2022 BBL Cup champions.
Some fantastic memories there. Forget the Leicester Riders missing Gino Crandall, Kieran. We're missing him.
Definitely, he was a wizard. He did a lot of great things. But the thing I love about Leicester Riders is, they buy into a structure, and once they start clicking, the new guy gets in, get that mix going. They will be a big force to reckon with in this league.
Foundation is key, of course, and continuity has been a fundamental part of this Riders' success, and it is borne out with all of the trophies that Rob Paternostro has won in his time. Now in his 15th season as head coach in Leicester. He's a 7-time coach of the year. Look at this, 17 titles, 6 of them in the league, 5 playoffs, 3 each in the trophy and the cup. So, Mike, what are the key attributes that make him such a successful coach?
I mean, Rob's a guy who kind of became head coach around the same time that I came into the league. So I've had the pleasure of kind of watching him grow and the last 10 years really build on all that experience. And I think he's a methodical guy. Like Kieran said, he gets guys to come in, play within his system. If they don't play within his system, they're sitting on the bench, and he'll find a guy that will. So he's really particular on what he wants. He's a great defensive coach, but then he also is great at pushing the tempo of the ball, and he always finds players and recruits really well with guys that can do that.
All right, it's a doubleheader, the men's final and, of course, the WBBL final. And last time out, it was the London Lions getting their first trophy of what went on to be a legendary season. And the rate of development and domination for this London Lions side has been phenomenal. When you look at the chronology of what this side has achieved and how quickly that they've managed to achieve it, it is startling. Because as well as domestic domination, they've been playing in Europe as well. And look at this, just a couple of seasons ago, they won their first bit of silverware, and look how much they've won since. Kieran, how inspirational is this side to a whole generation?
So inspirational. I'm thinking of the word dynasty, but I'm trying to remember, is it dynasty we say in the UK, or is it dynasty? I can't even remember.
I'll take dynasty.
But the legacy they're creating, they're changing the game to a whole different level, and they're not done there. They want to take it to a different height, which is scary to even think about.
That is next Sunday. There's so much to look forward to. Join us from Sky Sports Arena, 11:30 for the doubleheader BBL and WBBL Cup Finals. But tonight, well, it's all about the BBL Championship. And that is what we're going to turn our attention to next. We're going to break down the key matchups, the key players to keep an eye on. Flyers Sharks coming up. Welcome back to Sheffield. Sharks Flyers, our live game tonight. 2 season vets Andreas Kopoulis of the Flyers, Atiba Lions of the Sheffield Sharks, bringing their teams into tonight's matchup in very different form. The Sharks have lost 5 on the bounce, looking to arrest that slide. The Flyers, well, they are aiming for the ultimate up there at the top of the table. Let's key in on the Sharks first of all, because their form is so erratic. They had a terrible start to the season. Then they won 7 of their last 9, and now they've dropped 5 in a row. Kieran, what's going on?
Mike summed up earlier on. I do believe that the injuries really set them back. But for me, offensively, sometimes they just really get into a habit of moving the ball too much and not being able to shoot. So I expect the new guards to add to that.
It is a new year, and that means new faces for the Sharks. Atiba ringing the changes. Channel Banks amongst the players to go. Ty Flowers and Deval Ramsey coming in. We'll see them in a bit more detail in just a bit. It was interesting to hear read Rodney Glasgow's comments in the interview he gave with the Yorkshire Post earlier this week. As the skipper, he said he needs to elevate them. He needs to bring his team up in a time like this. As the man he replaced Mike Tuck, how does the captain go about doing that?
I mean, it's his first year as captain, and obviously, you know, the big fella Mike Tuck has left a hole there at Sheffield. But I think
he just referred to himself in the third person.
Yeah, third person. Of course. No, I think Rodney's been doing a good job. But obviously, when you go on a bad run of games, he's taking the team on his shoulders as he should. He's the leader out there. He's the guy that they're all looking up to. So he's just trying to find different ways to inspire these guys and you know, elevate them to the next level.
Okay, well, one of the big problems with Sheffield, as we've talked about, has been their offense. They're ranked dead last in points per game in the BBL. So they brought in a number of players to sort that out, including Deval Ramsey, a guard who made his debut in that trophy win against Thames Valley, and he really impressed, Mike.
Yeah, he definitely did. He had 12 points in that game, and the biggest thing that stands out with Ramsey is his speed. He can get up and down that court in a jiffy. Like, he is a flash, but he's also able to distribute the ball and get other guys involved, and I think he'll be one of those voices in the locker room as well that the guys will look up to.
Ty Flowers, a former NBA G Leaguer, also added. What's Atiba hoping to get from him?
I mean, we need scoring, right, from the 4-man position, and this guy is a lefty who can shoot the 3, so that's kind of what the Sharks are missing. You know, with Javion Oganyemi, you know, he was more of an inside player, so now we add Ty Flowers, and he's a guy who can spread the floor, but he led his team. He led LIU University in Brooklyn last year, 19 points a game, was an all-NEC player, and obviously a quick stint in the G League, so he's got a good reputation behind him. They're going to be expecting big things from this player.
When the Sharks offense has shined this season, it's usually a lot to do with this guy, Saeed Nelson, who leads the team in assists and points, and he was your player to watch at the start of the season, wasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely was. This guy is an exciting player to watch, and obviously he was out for about 3 to 4 weeks with injury, which also didn't help the Sharks at all in the scoring department. But now he's back, and we've got another guard there, so he can shift him to the on-ball and off-ball position. So Saeed Nelson, we should be seeing good things from tonight.
Okay, let's move on to Bristol. Much more of a balanced affair, more equilibrium with this Flyers side. They lead the league in second chance points. They're disciplined. They have the fewest turnovers, the second fewest fouls, and a top 3 defense. They are amongst the most balanced units right now in the BBL, aren't they?
Yeah, and they all know their roles as well, and they can all contribute from both ends of the court. So we've got a real strong balance there.
Very little change compared to the other rosters that we've talked about. How significant is that?
I was talking to Coach Kopoulis before. You know, it's recruitment. You know, he recruited. You know, he's very diligent with his approach, and it seemed to pay off.
Getting performances across the roster. They had 5 players in double digits in their recent win over Manchester, and one of them was VJ King, who will be in the thick of it once again tonight because he's averaging 19 points a game. That is good enough, Kieran, for the top 5 in the BBL.
Yeah, another King from Akron, Ohio. You see what I did there?
Nice.
No, but he's playing great basketball, can score the ball in multiple ways, rebounds the ball, distributes the ball, and plays with confidence. He is the heart of this team at this moment in time.
Thomas Bell's another big scorer, averaging over 13 a game. And he's got such a good all-round offensive game, Mike.
Yeah, he's a Swiss Army knife. He kind of fills in the gaps where he needs to. And, you know, some games he'll be quiet, but other games he really steps up big. But he does all the little things, and that's what makes him stand out.
Mike Miller missed a lot of last season through injury. He's had a real bounce-back year. 82 assists. That puts him in the top 5 in the league. Kieran, talk us through the game of the Flyers floor generally.
I love him. You know, defensively, he's right up. You know, disrupting, but he's also brings a calmness to this team. You know, he can get that mid-range jump shot, get into the paint, but looking to distribute the ball to get everyone else going. So he's a real key piece of this team.
So is Jelani Watson-Gale. He's a player that you love, Kieran, and you think, well, high hopes for him. What's his ceiling?
I genuinely believe that he has to be in that GB mix. You know, he's got a great upside. He can score the ball, shoot the ball really well. He's strong and he wants to. He's tenacious. So I think he's definitely going to be one of those GB ones to watch in the future. So
plenty of X factors in this Flyers side as well. And of course tonight it is important to mention that it is the Delpech Derby. The Twins, Marcus for Sheffield, Malcolm for Bristol, going head-to-head once again. Last time you caught up with them, Mike, I seem to remember axe throwing.
That's right, we did go axe throwing.
You'll be following through on that one. Bragging rights in the family, maybe the most important thing tonight, up for grabs. When you look at the numbers there, very similar contributions for their respective teams.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you look over there at Mark the Shark, as Kieran coined him. And then Malcolm, you know, both good players and playing similar roles within their team. And it's always great to see them match up against each other because, you know, the family rivalry is in there as well.
Keeps on rolling in the BBL. We love to see it. Right then, let's get up to speed with how both coaches feel about tonight's game. Mike caught up with them a little bit earlier on.
Coach Lyons, a run of losses in the league, but now 2 new additions. What was the problem?
Well, it was a few things, really. We had some injuries. We had some illness bugs in that poor form. You know, we never really 100%, even close to it, really. And I think we just needed to we kind of hit a skid and we could never really recover, so I thought a change was needed.
Major changes so far into the season. How difficult is that to cope with as a team?
Depending on the players, you know, really. We have, so far, these guys are coming in. They're getting stuck in. They're trying to communicate and get on board, so hopefully it's pretty seamless, but, you know, you never know until game time and getting that time and rhythm down with a new team and new players and finding their strengths and weaknesses as a coach.
Your last league win came down in Bristol. What were the keys to success down there?
I think we did a good job defensively. We had some good inside play. We didn't particularly take care of the ball that game. I think we had 21 turnovers and still won the game. So, you know, we just played a good kind of inside-out game.
And what has been your focus on preparing for tonight?
I think they had to do a good job in their transition. They're a great team in open court. They also have guys like VJ King, who's a elite scorer. We got to make sure we keep him quiet as much as we can.
Coach Kapoulis, 1 loss in the last 5 league games and a couple big scraps with Leicester and Manchester. Are you happy?
I think we're playing some good basketball. We want to be more consistent. We're coming from a loss from the trophy. But in league play, certainly we've been playing some good basketball, some strong performances, especially against Leicester and Manchester. But we always have room for improvement.
Let's talk about your goals for the season. Do you think you're on track right now?
I think, a lot of people at the start of the season were not expecting us to do as well as we're doing. I think for us, we just want to improving on both ends of the court and play good basketball, and the wins will come as a result of that. We're in a good position at the moment, but every team has got to get better, so we just got to keep on improving.
And the Sharks right now obviously making some changes, a little bit of an unknown quantity, 2 new additions. How have you prepared?
We were aware of the changes. We saw one of the players last week, and we're expecting one more player. They always play a physical brand of basketball. They have guys that have been together for a while, so the new guys will bring some speed, some shooting ability. We just got to be sharp on both ends of the court.
And a difficult run ahead with 3 more road games in your next 4. How important is a win tonight?
Well, winning on the road is always very important. On this series, Sheffield beat us at our place last time, so certainly getting a road win here is going to be very important for us as we want to continue building our performances.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much.
It's a really interesting point, actually, that he makes indirectly. With the Sharks having 2 new players that he's not going to know a huge amount about, he's not going to have a huge amount of film on, how much of an edge does that give to Sheffield?
I think that gives Sheffield an incredible edge. You've got 2 new players here for Sheffield that are both going to come out. It's their first actual league game. They're both going to be excited to play and get back out there. Both coming from G League teams, so their first look at the BBL. And we're excited to see them, get rolling and see them play.
Let's take a look at team head-to-heads. There are a couple of things that really stand out here to key in on. First of all, the Sharks, Kieran, have got to limit those second chance points from Bristol.
Yeah, for sure. And, we know Bristol like to shoot the ball, but they're relentless on the glass, so Sharks have to limit them to 1 shot.
If Sheffield are going to get their offense going, who do you want to see stepping up? The 2 new guys, but in terms of the rest of the roster. Who needs to go big tonight?
Well, definitely, you got to look to guys like Saeed Nelson and Kipper Nichols. But then I also look down the bench and I look at guys like Rodney Glasgow and Jordan Routino, two guys that have had great seasons in the past, but a little bit of a slow start for this season. So I want those guys to really step up tonight.
Sheffield, irrespective of if any or many of those players get going, I want to draw Kieran Bristol into a low-scoring attritional affair, right? That's their MO. So how will Bristol try and counter that?
Rebound the ball and get out to the races. When they rebound the ball, especially they're bigger players who can grab the rebound and push the break themselves. They're a scary team to play, so they want to make Sharks take bad shots and then be able to run.
Right then, keenly poised. I think it's fair to say a lot riding on this for both teams. The Flyers want to keep on rolling at the top. The Sharks need to start their 2023. We're almost ready for tip-off here in Sheffield. That's coming next.
Is Cook using a quick first down, Cook with the jab.
This is Sheffield basketball.
Tax lobs it up to Delpech, who jams it in.
Game time.
We are moments away from tip-off in our first live BBL game of 2023. Flyers Sharks is your Friday night basketball. Let's get on over to Antwerp and Dan.
Thank you very much, Nat. An intriguing game here, Ant. You've got Flyers looking to bounce back from their trophy exit, and Sheffield with a couple of new players to embed. Hard to pick which way this one might go.
It seems high importance for both teams. You've got Bristol there fighting with the top of the league, and then you've got Sheffield Sharks who've slid all the way down fighting for playoff berth.
Well, let's take a look at the two starting lineups for these teams. And whenever you play Bristol, you have to do well inside. Big game needed for Bennett Cook.
With the changes of personnel, I think that's even more important for Bennett Cook to be that solid pillar inside. But then again, Kipper Nichols, he has to be that consistent offensive distribution for them.
And at the other end of the floor, we've seen various different lineups for the Bristol Flyers. They're going with Bell starting at the forward spot today.
I think he's been excellent for them. For everything great BJ King has done, their leading scorer, their star man, it's been Thomas Bell picking up the pieces in every other department, and he's got that winning mentality, having won 3 conference champions at the University of North Texas.
Well, the two teams have made their way out onto court. We're almost ready to get things underway here in Ponds Forge, as the Sheffield Sharks, looking to climb their way back up the table, take on the Bristol Flyers, who currently sit in second and are looking to try and close the gap to London above them. And it is the Flyers who will get the opening possession of the game. Here's Miller. He's under pressure. It's stolen away by Glasgow. Nelson quickly down court, and Sheffield have the first score.
Really positive start there from the captain, Rodney. Glasgow leading the way. Nice little anticipation there for Saeed Nelson to get some early 2 points.
Well, quite often when these two teams play, it's a low-scoring game, but this is a great start with both scoring quickly.
It is, and there he is, Thomas Bell already injecting his athleticism in the game. He's that Swiss Army knife, can do it all.
Nelson, Nichols round the screen. Pass a little behind Glasgow, but he's able to haul it in. Martino kicks it on late in the shot clock, goes up for Nelson, has the thing but drops out.
Didn't get it to go, but it was a good miss. You can see it rim in and out there, and Nelson won't be missing too many of those.
Here's King. Little hesitation gets him all the way to the rim.
Excellent control and composure there. If you notice, he didn't pick up his dribble, which allowed him to literally dribble around the defenders there. Fantastic move from BJ King.
Nichols. Retino. Again late in the shot clock here, Sheffield. Glasgow gets it away and knocks it down.
Difficult shot as well. Ronnie Glasgow had already left his feet and he had to rearrange that shot, but it did not matter. Good focus, a great finish.
Well, he's had his own struggles at times this season. Played really well last week, and he'll be hoping to lead by example again tonight. Bell looking for room along the baseline, gets his man in the air through the contact, down one.
So difficult to guard. He's that 6'7", 6'6", long, athletic, good patience there and being able to maneuver. Left-handed player who's crafty, and you notice he's heavily strapped up there on that left hand, but it doesn't seem to be bothering Thomas Bell so far with 4 early points.
The 3-point play and puts his team in front. A little pressure down the court for Bristol. Nelson sees a lane though, gets to the rim, out to Glasgow. Nichols moves it on. Retino attacking. Good ball movement from the shots. Nichols is open and he strings the three.
Excellent offense there, good movement, good defense. Defense rotated quickly, but it wasn't enough to neutralize the offense.
Nice spin, and that'll be a foul on Nichols again, and he's probably going to have to go to the bench here with 2 early fouls.
It's there, Thomas Bell again, understanding the defensive liabilities there in terms of foul trouble, and right at Nichols picks up that another foul. Again, intelligent, aggressive play so far from Thomas Bell.
Interesting move here from Coach Lyons. He's put Ramsey into the game for Nichols, so you've got Cook at centre, and then not much height after that for the Sharks.
Against the, one of the best the best offensive rebounding team in the league, so you're certainly playing with fire in that aspect, because they're going to need size and athleticism to neutralise that.
I'm going to pick you up on that offensive rebounding stat. I'm going to do it in a bit, though. I'll save it for later. We're joined in commentary now by Mike Tuck. And Mike, I said a little earlier that when these two teams play, it's often low scoring. You played in a lot of games, but this one started really well.
Yeah, definitely. This is the type of game we want to see. Yeah, both, you know, pretty solid defensive teams, good rebounding teams here. And obviously, Coach Lyons here going with a much smaller lineup here to break that full court press and hopefully speed up the game a little bit for the Sharks, get some more points on the board.
Well, that's been one of the things that Sheffield have struggled with a little bit this year, getting those cheap 3 points in the open court. They've been pretty decent in the half court, but they aren't getting the extra points, if you like, that gets you up to 70, 80, 90 points.
Exactly, and those points are so important, right? You know, those little second chance points, those points in transition. I think with the addition of these two new players who are both, you know, come from good offensive backgrounds, that will help this team.
And Saeed Nelson is excellent at that, and they've been without him for a good 3-4 weeks, and he's been left a massive hole in the offensive production for the Sharks.
Miller fires up the three. Cook gets the rebound. Nelson. Rotino trying to bully his way to the basket. That was swiped away, but the foul was called first. And that'll be 2 shots. Foul is on Mike Miller.
I like that aggressiveness from Rotino early on here. He had 17 points in the first half in the last game, in the first round of the trophy. He's a guy who's been a little bit quiet in this first half of the season, but he has all the ability and tools to do it. It's good to see him break out last game.
I think that was a key point you made pre-game there. I think Rotino, Rodney Glasgow, those are the two guys that you really need to increase their production just because they're proven players in this league. And, you know, when you look at the numbers, both are down, but so far, you know, Rodney Glasgow has been that, you know, leader from the front, and perhaps that's what that is. You know, you take on the responsibility of the captainship, and you have to worry about all these other individuals, but you've got to put your life jacket on first before you help others, and Rodney Glasgow has to juggle that and figure that out.
Yeah, definitely. He's a guy who's wearing multiple hats right now, but I think last game we saw some really good things from him, and like I said, has all the ability to do it. And I think with the addition of DeVeryl Ramsey now, this opens up the floor for these guys to really be successful.
Well, we've had one Delpeche come in and another go out, so we haven't seen the Delpeche derby yet, as Smith, who came in for Bristol, will go to the line for 2.
And he's proven to be a really good asset for this Flyers team. You know, Leslie Smith's numbers won't jump out on the page, but he's had some really big games where he's came off the bench and been able to insert his dominant size and strength on a game.
Leslie Smith, former Shark, had a quick stint with the Sharks, and obviously an older veteran player. Good to see him back in the league. I talked to him quickly before the game. I said, "You're back again?" He said, "Yeah, I couldn't go out like that. I need to go out back on top." So here he is with the second place Bristol Flyers team back on top.
Flowers has come into the game, but he's just been sent back out of the game. I don't know whether it's to do with the taping on his shoulder. I've not seen that before, but he's going to have to sort something out. Well, I think they've just allowed him to take it off, and he's going to jog back in.
That's odd.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your socks, tights, and any tape that's on your body all have to match. So I believe that is the rule in the BBL.
I didn't realize the tape. I knew the socks and the tape were. Coach Kapoulis finds it quite amusing.
Well, these referees better have pink socks on, or else I'm going to raise hell. I'll tell you that much.
Poor Flowers has only been in the country for 5 days.
Welcome to the BBL.
But I'm excited to see Flowers out there. He's obviously comes from a high pedigree. And
nice move from Delpeche to toss it in for 2.
Good start there from Delpeche, who's going to look to insert his inside dominance in this game.
King spinning into trouble, knocked away by Ramsey. Rotino comes away with it. Trying to force it into Delpeche again, and the referees are going to talk this one over because I think it is going to stay with Sheffield.
A great move there from Flowers. Obviously, the recognition that Delpeche had just made an inside basket. Let's throw it right back to him and hit him where it hurts.
All those impressive numbers from his senior year in Flowers. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists as well. That's really, really good for a big man who's not a guard where he's used to handling the ball a lot. So he's a player that likes to distribute the ball and has good vision.
Nelson slips slightly. Oh, what a pass! That is a Delpesh underneath.
The slip that could have turned into something else, and he makes something out of it. Great pass there from Saeed Nelson from Delpesh. Big finish.
Kicks it out to Mahan for 3. Routino with the rebound.
Good early defensive plays here from Ramsey to help defense there. A couple plays before them that time. Got out to the three-point shooter immediately and contested the shot.
Here's Flowers putting the ball on the floor. Back to Ramsey. 5 on the shot clock. Foul is called. I think it's on Delpesh. It is on Delpesh for the illegal screen.
That's a tough one there. I don't know if I completely agree with that call, but we'll get a closer look at it right here. Just looks like he might have not set his feet in time there, but tough call from Mark the Shark there, as Kieran was calling him.
I blame the guard there. The guard has to wait for the big man to just stop, and even if it's half a second, he's got to wait a little bit longer. This is a call that's being called a lot more this year, and you have to be even better at setting screens now.
Bell squeezed out of it. That's unusual for you to blame the guard for the foul on the big fella in the pick and roll there, Anne.
You know I'm right, Dan.
Really good defensive possessions here from the Sharks. These early goings here, they've really scouted up this Bristol Flowers team well.
Delpesh. Routino around the screen, going all the way to the basket. Nice move from Jordan Routino.
I like him being this aggressive. I think Routino's a guy that really good use of that screen there, and he doesn't have any fear or hesitation. Attacks that rim with authority.
Bell fires up the 3, back iron. Good hands from Ramsey to tip it down, but Bristol able to come up with the loose ball. Smith misses, and Delpesh with the rebound. Here's Ramsey in the open court. Nelson behind the back, going strong. Rebound Delpesh. Routino for 3, knocks it down.
Great energy from Delpesh, giving his team a second opportunity, and that second opportunity fell into the hands of Routino, who knocks down a 3.
Incredible energy here from the Sharks early on. 19 points on the board already. Both ends of the floor. Jordan Routino looking the guy who might make his mark tonight.
Well, a good start by the Sharks, and earlier Mike caught up with their captain, Rodney Glasgow.
Rod, a poor run of results before the Christmas break. Now some big roster changes. Was it essential to change things up?
Yeah, I think we needed a kind of like a kick, a kind of like a wake-up call. I think we needed a change to our team. And obviously with the 2 new signings in DeVerl and a Ty, I think we'll play a little more positionless basketball. On the perimeter side, I think Dev brings a lot of speed, a lot of playmaking ability, and the same with Ty when it comes to shooting. He could play, I think, 3 and 4, which is going to be great for us now because we could play more up-tempo, and even the character of our team. We see guys are more talking more in practice, showing a lot more grit, which is what you want heading into the late in the season and stuff, so it's good.
And yourself as captain, what's your role in trying to galvanize this team?
As a captain, just like how you were, you gotta channel your energy onto them. You have to get on guys more because it's not about you; it's about the team's success. So lately now, I've just been stepping out of my comfort zone, trying to make sure that we do what we need to do, and then as captain, I'm just fitting into where I need to fit in and making sure that all the pieces work. So it's going good right now.
Thanks for your time, Ronnie.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Well, they've been doing what they needed to do in the first 7 minutes of this ball game. Sheffield leading by 9. Although they don't want to leave the shooters in the corner like that, and Ollison makes them pay.
That's the first defensive breakdown we've seen from the Sharks, and great response there at that timeout. And Ollison, it's a wide open corner 3 ball to go.
Nelson driving quickly to the hole.
And that's what they've missed. Nelson's creativity, his ability to just sliver his way to the rim. Nice finish.
Watson Gale throws it away. Ramsey pushing hard. It's come off the feet and back away. He wants a kickball. Referee says no. Watson Gale under pressure. Gets the pass away. Nice pass. Delpesh underneath is fouled by Flowers.
Yeah, we've seen it. Kind of two defensive breakdowns there. Flowers a little bit late on this one here, but kind of a situation where he had to foul. I think that's a good foul, though. Don't let any easy buckets go in. Don't let the Bristol Flyers pick up any momentum here. But how quickly did DeVerl Ramsey get out on the break there? You can see this Sheffield Sharks team has brought a whole new energy tonight.
Maybe too quick. The ball hit the foot of the defender. The referee missed it.
Well, Delpesh, on a good day, is a 1 out of 2 free throw shooter. So they want to be ready here. So it doesn't often make 2 out of 2.
Well, that hindsight is a great foul. Instead of giving up a dunk, you send the big man to the line who struggled there and going 0 for 2.
Make him earn it.
Neither Marcus nor Malcolm have earned a living from the free throw line. Ramsey in the corner missing the 3 ball. Zip pass out to Watson Gale for 3. And Flowers will chase it down.
It's a good look for Flyers. They're excellent pass off the post, and Stanley Watson Gale's a guy we know shoots 39% and does not goes down.
Delpesh with the hook, and one rims out. King going the long way around with the step.
His excellent ability to keep his dribble, and then those long strides and long extension. That's a difficult finish.
Late in the shot clock, got to find a way to get it up, and he does and gets it in.
Beautiful patience there for Jordan Mattino. Kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, and able to take his time, pivot through, and knock down the little fadeaway.
Miller with a little hesitation. There was meant to be some help there, and he meant an easy lay-in.
Mike Miller's done a really good job of penetrating so far. He's got 2 assists, but you can see his dribble there is able to open up that defense, and this time he gets himself an easy 2.
Ramsey back to Delpesh. Delpesh up the foul line, leaves that short. Shot clock is off, so Bristol will run this down to the buzzer. King looking to attack. Delpesh forcing him back. King getting all the way to the basket. It's fouled, and he will go to the line for a bonus.
You notice he goes just as aggressively left as he goes right. This time he decides to go left, and same result for VJ King. Tough finish.
Yes. Not the result here. If you're Marcus Delpesh, an and 1 foul with only 1.2 seconds left. That'll be Marcus' 2nd foul as well here. We're only in the first quarter.
It's a tough switch for Delpesh. They'll be out there by yourself with one of the best scorers in the league. I'm shouting help really loud.
Yeah, he did a great job first off to force him backwards, but after that, you're right, he needs a little help from his teammates. 1 second left here for Sheffield, and they will run it out. Well, a high-scoring first quarter by the standards of the previous meetings between these 2 teams, and it's very much in the balance here at Ponds Forge. 23-21, Sheffield lead Bristol, and we will be back with the second quarter right after this break. Welcome back to Ponds Forge, about to get underway for the second quarter here in Sheffield, and it's the Sharks with the lead and the opening possession. Here's Cook, looking to go to work on Delpesh, backing him down. Great move from Bennett Cook.
I love that move from Bennett Cook, the big fella just taking his time, getting as close to the basket as he can. An easy turnaround hook, left-hand hook.
I mean, is that deep and has that intent, he is unstoppable.
Can Delpesh go back at him the other way? Cook does a good job to make it a longer shot. Bristol with an offensive rebound. King again. Watson Gale with a little hesitation is blocked by Cook, and it's pulled away by the Sharks in the end. Glasgow is off down court, and Glasgow misses the layup, but there's a late whistle. He will shoot two.
Beautiful job by the Sharks there on the defensive end. Obviously Bennett Cook, big block and able to retain the ball. And Ramsey able to push the ball quickly up the floor. Glasgow, I feel like if he had taken just an extra little second there, he would have made the layup, but rewarded with the trip to the line.
So let me just jump in now. They had two goes at it with the offensive rebound, didn't score Bristol. And you guys said beforehand they're the best offensive rebounding team in the league. And they are number one in offensive rebounds. And they are number one in second chance points. But they are number 8 in points per offensive rebound. So they need 2 or 3 to get the basket. They get them, but it takes them longer to do it. That's the one thing I would say about Bristol, is they're the lowest shooting field goal percentage team in the league. Hence, there are more offensive rebounds out there.
No, I understand that, and it's a valid point, but no basketball player in their right mind is purposely missing the first shot now. An offensive rebound not only gives your team more opportunities to score the basketball, it's demoralizing to the opposition on the defensive end. There's a reason why they're top 3, is because they don't turn the ball over, and they're offensive rebounding team.
Foul caught on Nelson, and I agree with that, but I still think they need to be higher than 8 in points per offensive rebound.
I'm sure they work on it every day in practice, but this is a team that the coaches said, we need you to be aggressive on the boards, and it's 1 through 5. It's not just the big guys. The big guy averages 7 rebounds a game. That's not too hard to do. Me and Mike's both done that in our prime. So it's the guards that are contributing to the rebound effort as well. It's a mentality that the coaches instilled in the team.
Miller inside. Me and Amp will continue this discussion for the remainder of the season.
Can I just say I'm loving being beside this debate right here. There's BBL Debate 101.
Here's Glasgow. Mid-range. Knocks it down. Nice shot, Rodney Glasgow.
Good to see him with confidence. You know, again, he's a player averaging 6 points a game this year. He's averaged 12 points previous season, so he's really down on his numbers. Looks really positive so far this game.
And it just looks like he's letting the game come to him. He's not putting too much effort into it, just shooting the shots that he knows he can make.
Miller with the turnaround, tosses one in.
Another guy who's making shots he knows he can make is Mike Miller. That's back-to-back points for him. We all know that he's great at when he gets to that mid-range. That's 2 times in a row now. Middle of the paint, easy floater.
6 points for him as Bristol come away with the steal. And Ollison slowing down to throw that one in, and we're going to get an early timeout here in the second quarter by Atiba Lions. The score is 29 points to 27. We've seen how well VJ King has started this game. We managed to catch up with him and find out how he's adjusting to life in the UK.
My first impressions of life in Bristol was how much it rained. It rained constantly, almost every day. Other than that, the weather's pretty nice, actually. I would say Jelani Watson, probably the one who impressed me the most. I just like his game, just like how he plays. My first impressions of Coach is very just down-to-earth guy, easygoing. Have a conversation with him. He's funny, he likes to laugh, just like everybody else. That was really good to find out when I first met him. I would say my biggest assets is I can space the floor. I can play multiple positions. I can handle it, I can shoot it. I can also play down low if I need to. Whatever the game needs me to do at the time. My biggest inspiration is probably my almost 2-year-old son. That's probably my biggest inspiration, go out there and play every night. I know, if I had one wish, it would be if I could play basketball my entire life, even when I'm like 100 years old, God willing.
Back underway here. King, his dad was a professional basketball player as well. And he's carving out a very nice career for himself here at Bristol.
Things have started really well, haven't they, in the UK for him? Just under 20 points a game. Remember, he's a former McDonald's All-American. That means he's one of the best high school players for his time in the whole of America. Just incredibly impressive.
Well, that was a close one for Ramsey. He'll get the possession of the ball. Communication, but Samuels keeps it alive. Samuels driving in, kicked to out, but thrown straight to Glasgow as Nelson with him, tosses it up, and that's a great fast break from the two guards.
That's it, was the small man hit the fast break. You know there's going to be abundance of speed, and great pass there for an easy finish from Nelson.
King looking to attack, kicks out, mid-range jump shot is good from Miller, who's now up to 8-4, a 4 from 2-point range.
It's a DJ King penetration again, just breaking that Sharks defense.
Nelson, nice little post move from side Nelson this time.
Oh, it's like he dribbled into the heart of the defense, didn't have any options, so he's like, okay, I'll take care of business myself with a nice turnaround jump shot.
Stolen away by Ramsey. He has Nelson with him. Back to Glasgow. It's a mismatch down low, but Miller's done well there. Glasgow step back, leaves it short. Tough to shoot over King. That came off the foot of Retino. No reset at the shot clock as it's at 17.
Trying to make the post entry in there, but kick ball.
Wrong sport.
Yeah, wrong sport. Nice clear.
I think the Blades are playing tonight, aren't they?
Hey up, Duck. The Blades.
Miller. Bell, nice pass, and Delpesh with an easy lay-in.
Yeah, Sharks team has a few possessions here where they're just kind of getting caught, missing out on the rotations there. I think Ramsey, last line of defense there, missing out on the big fella. Good eye from Bristol taking advantage.
Cook again using his strength to bully his way to the basket.
Beautiful. Stacey gathers when he makes those dribbles inside, and the ability then to pivot round to his left hand and finish.
Bell has it knocked loose. Glasgow, can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. Ramsey has Retino ahead of him. Backs out to the three-point line and knocks it down.
That's why LeBron Ramsey is here. He's a guy who can push the ball and has the ability to find open teammates. A guy like Jordan Retino now, all of a sudden up to 11 points.
And it's really difficult as well to make the right decision when you're going at 100 miles per hour, and it's like he knew what to do. Got the defense to suck into him and then pass the ball out for Retino for an open three.
Bell to reply with a triple. No, here's Ramsey again. 3 flyers back. So he circles out and they'll run a play. Nelson from 17 feet. Not quite from him. Coach Kapula shouting push, push to his team. King forced out. Miller. Miller just gets that pass away. He doesn't go, and that comes off Delpesh. No, it came off Cook's head on the way out.
Yeah, good energy there from Flyers, but it was a really good defensive set from Sheffield Sharks. Contested one, you can see the little flick on from the target.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's two of them now that need to be down at Bramall Lane. Bell driving in. Well, they can't come up with it, but I think it's a third or a fourth chance on this possession.
That is a good example of your point there. That's a play that Flyers have to convert. You know, you want Thomas Bell to grab hold of that ball, get possession for a half a second and go back up strong. He's got the strength and the athletic ability to do it.
Well, I suppose the one upside is they got a second foul on Ramsey, so he has to sit down.
Yeah, he's done some good things for them. Still yet to score the basketball himself, but he's got 4 steals. Assist.
King, tough shot. Another offensive rebound. Recycle back out. Mahan. And again the offensive board. Finally, I think it was 5 goes, but they got 2 points out of it. But to your point, Anne, I will concede, that wears you down defensively when you've got to play for almost a minute of defense.
Mentally and physically, you know, you've got guys attacking the rim and you're having to use up all of your energy that you'd rather expend on the other end of the floor playing offense. Bristol Flyers relentless.
Yeah, that's the word right there, relentless. And I think it's not only just from the bigs, but their guards crash really hard too. So it's much tougher when you've got, 4 or 5 guys crashing rather than your traditional, 2 or 3 with the forwards. So definitely an uphill battle for this Sharks team all night.
Well, to the lines with the timeout here. He's spent half of it chatting to the officials before he heads in to talk to his team. But he won't be too disappointed with the position that they find themselves in, up 5 here with less than 3 to play in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. And 38 points on the board, probably much more than they traditionally score in a game. They've got to be up to that 80, 90 points a game to start pulling out wins here in the BBL. So I'm sure he'll be happy with the offense. Just the defensive breakdowns and missed rebounds is where he's not going to be happy.
But again, I mean, some of the low scoring of the Sharks that we've seen this year it's by design. It's the way they play. They get late into the shot clock. They take possessions out of the game, if you like. But with the addition of somebody like Ramsey, they now have the ability to get the cheap points in transition that they weren't getting earlier. And with Nelson back as well.
Yeah, definitely. Historically, if you look at Atiba, like many teams that I played on, we were always defensive minded and we would slow it down on the other end. Now, with the addition of these players, we got to play to their strengths. And DeVeryl Ramsey is adding a whole nother dynamic, and then a healthy Nelson allows you that ability to really push the ball and pick up those, 5, 10, 15 fast break points that can separate you from those other teams.
Well, they've already got 6 fast break points in the ball game, Sheffield. And there's a change in the low post. They've tried to throw Smith at Cook, having seen him back down Delpesh a couple of times, but Smith commits the foul.
Good presence of mind there from Bennett Cook here, facing up, knowing he has the ability to draw a foul. Good job from him.
Driving to the basket is Nelson. He goes down hard, but will pick himself up and shoot 2.
It's a combination of things, as you were saying, how Ramsey's had a positive impact in getting everyone involved, but this guy right here, Side Nelson, he has been a huge miss for the Sharks, being out for injury. He's been there, he is their leading scorer, and as you can see, he's just got that ability to create, which is, it's quite rare. It's hard to find guys so creative as him.
Yeah, one of the quickest first steps in the league, and when he's healthy, he only averages 13 points, but he's a guy who has the ability to score 20, 25, even after 30-point game. He has that in him, so good to see him back on the floor healthy.
Well, speaking of healthy, I'm glad the cameraman on the baseline is healthy there. Nelson went hard into the... Get an injury report at half-time as he makes both free throws. Sheffield up 7. Good hands from Ratinho, tipped out of bounds.
The whole energy and demeanour of Ratinho at the moment, so positive. Just hands in the passing lane everywhere. This is what we've came to know Ratinho, if you've watched British basketball over the last couple of years. High energy, active, intelligent basketball player.
Dale with little hesitation, denied by Flowers and missed underneath. Defensive rebound this time by Sheffield. Glasgow knocks down the triple.
Like we talked about earlier, Rodney Glasgow, when he lets the game come to him, when he just catches and shoots, it looks effortless.
Sheffield now with the biggest lead of the game at 10. Second violation called against the Flyers. That's one you don't see very often.
Oh, the frustration's starting to mount up now for the Flyers. If you see that Sheffield Shack's really packing in that middle, which then denies all the easy layups that Flyers have been getting, but also they're reactive and quick enough where they've been contesting the shots from outside. Flyers have to figure out a way here now to some sort of offensive production. They're stuck on 33 for quite a while.
Glasgow to Cook, knocked away from him. Bell takes it hard and finishes well.
And that's the way to do it. Good anticipation there. Good shots to create the turnover and then push the basketball, score in a matter of seconds.
Cook putting it on the floor, driving hard. Nice play, Bennett Cook.
Wow, this time does it outside of the post, catches up top and carves his lane to the basket.
Foul called as King went to the rim. He will shoot two.
DJ King doing it all night long, finding a way to the rim, and defense having to foul him just because he's been so relentless and controlled the way he's attacked the rim.
.74% foul shooter on the season, BJ King, as he knocks both of those down. Nelson from the elbow. Shot clock is on. There's about a 3.5 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Mahan is open for three and knocks it down.
Big shot, and that can't happen. Mahan on court just to shoot threes.
Nelson trying to get the points back, and a good finish for the first half by the Bristol Flyers. A few moments ago they were 10 points down, but they will go into the locker room only down 5.
Really good recovery from there, Dan. It started with that turnover that they got shots to create out of the fast break. Thomas Bell converts, and then big three from Mahan. There's one thing you don't want him to do, shoot a three, and the Flyers get him in that sweet spot and he knocks it down.
Well, let's take a look at the numbers in the game. Look at that from Sheffield. 14 of 20 from 2-point range, 50% from three. Those are great numbers.
They are, and they've been getting good shots. They've been doing it through their big guy, Bennett Cook, who's 100% from the field, 3 for 3. But I think they've had other quality contributions there across the board. Nelson doing his damage inside as well.
Well, Bristol leading the rebounds. Let's get some halftime reaction. Mike Tuck is with Jordan Ratinho.
Jordan, a much more balanced effort on the offensive end. What did you make of that first half?
I think offensively we're playing with confidence. Guys are getting the shots that they like. So we're flowing pretty well. For us, it's just about, sometimes taking better shots, eliminating transition. So knowing when the guys get back, when to crash. And then defensively, it's just about getting the defensive rebound and in possessions and eliminating open threes.
Now, last game you started that the first half was 17 points. You're here with 11 points in this game. What's kind of changed for you?
I don't know. Just seeing the ball go in a couple times gets your confidence right a little bit. So I'm just playing free. I'm just having fun. So it always makes the game a little bit better.
And 45 points here in this first half, and an amazing outing. We've got the addition of Ramsey and Flowers. How are they integrating into the team so far?
Yeah, I mean, definitely another ball handler that could really handle it. Very quick, can make plays. So definitely something that we could utilize. And then Ty, obviously very tall, lengthy, very good shooter, so he'll be able to spread the floor for us and do what he does on defense.
J-Rad, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
He's had a good first half, as have the Sharks collectively. 5 games on the bounce they've lost, but they're turning it around. More reaction and analysis coming next. Welcome back to Sheffield, where at the half the Sharks take a 5-point lead into the locker room. Bristol had flashes of the offense that we've seen propel them into the higher echelons of the BBL table, but it was the Sharks offense, surprisingly, that laid it down a lot in the first half. Remember, of course, this is the lowest ranked scoring offense in the BBL coming into tonight's game. Not that you would realize that based on the first half performance. Look at that shooting for the Sharks. Absolutely on point. More on that revived offense in a moment. But Kieran Achara, is the Sharks defense living up to its billing once again? How have they limited the Flyers to this 40?
So I think at the start, for the 18 minutes, they were limiting second chance opportunities. Thomas Bell III really got active in the last couple of minutes and got Bristol back into the game. But with that, getting deflections and really kind of emphasising taking away the three-point shot as well. I think they've done a really good job.
Atiba Lyons is going to be frustrated, isn't he, that they're only going in with a 5-point advantage. Allow Bristol in the back door there at the end of the second half.
Yeah, and it was going back to Bristol's game plan. They were relentless on the glass, started to push again, get the ball inside, get some easy looks. VJ King, really crafty around the basket. So definitely Atiba Lyons will be a little bit upset that they allowed Bristol to crawl back into the game.
This is a Sharks offence that has averaged 72 points a game this season, already on 45, so you could do the maths. Develle Ramsey having an immediate impact.
Definitely, and Saeed Nelson as well. Just the way they push the ball, getting deep into the paint, kicking out and allowing their players to shoot at the open three like the likes of Ratinho.
Well, let's look at Ratinho in a little bit more detail. He's clearly been playing with Mike Tuck for too long, because he's picked up the Sky Sports baby routine. Every time he's in prime time, he steps up.
He just loves it. I always see him. His hair's on point. Got the gel in there. He's always ready for Sky Sports. But great start to game. Got the confidence, got these open looks, knocked them down, big confidence builder. Mike Tuck had mentioned he played really well against Thames Valley.
Right.
Got his confidence back, so he's got his swagger back for Sky Sports.
That's what we figured, actually. That big win in the trophy, a lot of the Sharks players filling their boots in that game, they're going to come into this with a bit of swagger, and that's absolutely the case. And Saeed Nelson has been absolutely living up to that. He has had a big first half. In fact, 12 points has him as the top scorer for the Sharks in the opening 2 periods. And such drive, such energy when he's fully fit. What a play.
And that's it. He gets out. He's out to the races. Here, picked up a couple of fast break points, but he's so crafty as well. He's got such a change of speed. I always talk about some players are not so super fast, but their change of speed is the difference. He's super fast and got a ridiculous change of speed as well. So he's really aggressive going to the basket. Great addition to have him back in the squad.
Making things happen. Ty Flowers, less of an impact for him in the first half.
Yeah, I think he's still finding his feet, moving around, got a couple of good blocks, a little bit of fouls, but, he's new to the team, jet lag, everything else that comes with that, he'll find his feet at the end.
Now, we mentioned Thomas Bell III. He had a good half for the Bristol Flyers, but we're going to pick out VJ King, their leading scorer, joint with Thomas Bell III. He was coming into this game, of course, as their leading scorer throughout the season, of course, in the top 5 in the BBL, and just causing trouble for Sheffield's defence.
He's just so cool, calm and collect. He can shoot the ball, he can get to the rack. He's got a good change of direction as well. He plays at his own speed, and that's what's dangerous for any team. When you're trying to disrupt someone and make them, play out of rhythm, he knows his game, he knows how to get to his spots. Great player.
Sakini poised at the half. What do the Sharks need to continue doing in the third quarter to keep this advantage and to get this win on the board after the bad run they've been on?
I think they have to continue being aggressive. You see Sharks, historically, they go into slumps, and they stop shooting the ball. They have to continue to be aggressive, get open looks, and really attack the glass and make it tough on the defence of Bristol Flyers.
It is keenly poised here in the Shark Tank. Second half coming up very, very shortly. Before all that, and I know you have missed this, it's not Plays of the Week this time because we've been off air for a couple of weeks, so we've gone back deep over the last 3 or 4 weeks and picked our favourite plays from across the BBL, so you are going to enjoy it.
Kennedy will boom that one. Ooh. Over to Bell III. What a beautiful move as he corkscrews back to his left. Almost like an Inspector Gadget arm going out there. What a play by Bell. Nice move by Dirk Williams.
Sloan looks to attack the middle. Nice drop off pass inside.
David Sloan penetrating right in the heart of that defense and then finishes it with a fancy behind the back pass.
Mahan keeps it in play. Jackson on the open floor and jams it in. And count it. There, Jackson. Now look at this on the replay. Zach Jackson jams it in.
So what a dunk.
as we've been establishing all season long, that's what our production team is doing, the top 5 players for the last few weeks. But you're your own man, Kieran Achara. You can bestow the disgusting on any play you want.
There was so many, you know, the ordering, you know, the Robertson block, that was really nice. But that Zach Jackson play, that was absolutely disgusting.
Let's hear it. The first of 2023. It is a good one. And you're agreeing with the guys. So there we go. There we go. Love that unity. The first show of the brand new year. Right then, second half action coming your way very shortly. I'm sure that Andreas Kapoulis has got plenty of words for his flyers in the locker room at the half, because they need to turn a 5-point deficit around. Coming up in just a moment. We've got a 5-point ball game here in Sheffield. Advantage to the Sharks. Boy, do they need this win, as do the Flyers, for altogether different reasons. Third quarter about to get underway, so let's get back to Mike and Dan.
Thank you very much. Now, Mike, I've got a question for you here at the start of the second half. Atiba in halftime there could have had a 10-point lead, but for a couple of plays at the end. How does that change his mentality in the locker room, having lost 5 points in the last couple of minutes?
Yeah, I mean that's tough, because obviously even on the last possession in the first quarter, there was a bit of a breakdown there, and then we see a little bit of a breakdown towards the end of the second. I think for them, they're still shooting the ball really well, and they're getting points where they usually don't get points. A guy like Kipper Nichols has been out for the full first half. He's going to have a big impact, so I think it's about getting this starting group to set the tone early here, and I think if they can make up some headway early on and set the tone early, it'll give them a lot of breathing room down the stretch.
Well, Nichols only played 2 minutes and 38 seconds in the first half, 2 early fouls, and he never returned after that. Let's see if he's going to make up for lost time, or he's a little rusty having sat for half an hour. was almost going to get an easy score, but King got in the way there. Bristol on the break. Great work from Nelson to prevent the score.
Yeah, Saeed Nelson there, obviously. Turnover on one end and able to create the easy basket down the other end. Good defensive hands from him there.
It's a huge play, because that's a basket-saving play. I know it's not classified as a block shot, but it's as good as a block shot there.
Yeah, it's a play that won't show up in any statistical category, but as you say, it could take 2 points off the board if they can get a stop here as well. Here's Miller. They've left him, and he gets the points in the end.
Wow, good balance there from Miller, almost off balance, almost fell over, but able to regain his balance and knock down that 15-footer. We know he's up money from that mid-range.
He's had a really good game so far. 10 points personal for him. Looking good, looking confident.
Tino driving hard, unable to finish. King nowhere to go. Cook hitting his hand on the ball. And nice drive to the basket from Bell.
He's been so good. Straight from the tip-off. Thomas Bell's started his dominance in this game. 11 points personal now for him.
Foul caught off the ball. I think it's on King. Trying to fight his way around the screen of Cook.
Coach Kapula is not happy with the call there, saying that's what it takes for a 7-footer to fall down. It's not very much.
Foul on the floor. Delpesh with his hand in.
Bennett Cook just so solid down there in that low post. Always able to take his time. I spent 3 seasons guarding him every day in practice, and he can be very slippery and agile for his height and size.
Is that why you retired?
Well, it's caused them all sorts of problems, both Smith and Delpesh. You almost wonder if they might go down there a little more. That's going to be an offensive foul on him this time as Delpesh hits the deck. I think it's the off arm.
Yeah, that's a smart play from Delpesh. Sometimes, when you're given a tough task down low, gets his position. That one could have went either way, in my opinion.
Soft.
You doing that in practice, Mike? It seemed like a foul.
No fouls in our practices.
Nice ball movement, but they missed the shot in the corner with Olison. Nelson out to Rotino for 3. Long rebound comes out to Nelson. Here's Nelson from behind the arc. Miller with the rebound.
Good defense, and they kind of half-baited Nelson to shoot that ball. It was lack of movement, and they're trying to get the ball inside to Bennett Cook.
King getting the nice roll for 3.
That's if you're a Bristol Flyers fan, that is the guy you want to get rolling here. Big shot there. Knocked down for 3.
Bristol back in front. Ramsey trying to reclaim it for Sheffield, and he does.
That's a big play, a big response there from Ramsey. That's his first points of the season. There's a big one. Up but down the 3.
Bristol trying to reply, and 3's flying in all over the place.
For this half, it started a little bit choppy for both teams, and sometimes when the floodgates open, they open. Repertoire of 3s there.
Cook again did his work early. Delpesh commits the foul, and that's his 3rd personal, so he will leave the game.
Smart play there from Bennett Cook. Didn't have the angle on the first pass, but got the ball to the top, and he had his man sealed, calling for it. Great ability to draw the foul.
Little shake of the head for him. He's had a tough night in there. Here's Nichols. He's going to try his luck from downtown. Miller. Good work from Cook to make that a tough shot. Bristol with a second go at it. Smith inside, all on his own, is VJ King once again. 14 points for him.
Excellent play by Leslie Smith. Her acrobatic, fantastic time in offensive rebound, which hands it, feeds it to King, who delivers again.
Ramsey to the runner. Cook with the rebound, trying to force his way back up. Comes out to Retino, knocked away by Miller. And that's going to be a jump ball. As Miller jumped over the top, and Coach Atiba Lyons very unhappy with that. He thought there was a foul on Miller.
The ball was ricocheting everywhere. Could have been a kick ball caught on Retino first, and then wow, Miller does come across rather aggressively there through Retino to get to the ball. You can see that Atiba's frustrated with the jump ball call instead of a foul. But again, that could have been a kick ball first and then not have that play happen. So a number of things here that the referee could have blew before the eventual jump ball.
Well, the possession arrow favours the shot. Atiba Lyons got a coach warning amongst all of that. Flowers in the corner, off the mark for three. Bell rising high. Ramsey kicks out to Glasgow. His three is short. Sheffield now working hard on the offensive glass. Flowers even in the corner for three.
Well, they eventually got there. It was sort of a, here's a taste of your own medicine. Sharks relentless on the boards, and it was like Bristol were in a matchup zone, and they were kind of all over the place, and which left gaps. No one was boxing anyone out, and Sharks took full advantage of it.
First points of his Sharks career for Ty Flowers, corner three. Very modern basketball, that, isn't it? The number 4 first points is the corner three.
The 6'9"
yeah.
shooter.
There he is. Oh, I thought he was going to let another one go there.
But that's the type of offensive prowess that Flowers is going to add to this team. Corner threes from the top, spreading the floor from the forward position.
Smith playing point guard. Playing it well as well. What a pass from Smith to King for the jam.
Wow, point guard El Natural on that occasion. Dribbles up, threads the needle there for VJ King. Wow.
Delpesh looking for some help. Ramsey late in the shot clock. Off the mark. Delpesh with the offensive rebound. Marcus Delpesh puts it back.
This Sheffield Sharks team is tenacious on the offensive board, starting off in this second half. Taking a page right out of the Bristol Flyers book.
Here's Smith. Takes the mid-range and knocks it down.
Leslie Smith, it's so calm out there. Kind of lets the game come to him and tries to dictate areas on the both ends of the floor as and when suit him. That's a real comfortable looking jump shot from him.
Glasgow. The back iron. Well, nobody stopped the ball. Kicked out to the corner, and King, all string, VJ King, 19 points for him, and he is 7 for 8 shooting.
Wow, the guy you do not want to leave open is him right there, number 17, VJ King. Averages 19 points a game, and he's already at his average. He has been devastating against Sharks. from the tip.
Well, I should imagine the point you just made, Amp, will be one that Atiba is making very forcefully in this timeout. You cannot lose. Well, there's so many shooters on this Bristol team. You don't really want to leave anybody in the corner, but particularly not VJ King when he shoots the ball as well as he is today.
No, and I think we're only seeing we're scratching the surface from him. I think we're seeing some inspired performances from him now. I can't help but feel he's made perhaps a little bit uncomfortable when he first came to the UK. We had glimpses of his talent, but just to put it into perspective, he has came from the cream of the crop, McDonald's All-American. You'll see them in the NBA. Anyone know Jason Tatum? Well, that's the same team as he played in the USA Under-17 team. Won a championship with Ramsey, who is the latest signing for Sharks. So this is a VJ King who has came from the very, very top and is showing us now his talents.
Yeah, you just see in his game here the way he rises up. He's got that NBA style, that NBA body, and that NBA athleticism. He's got the total package there. King has come out in this second half ready to play.
Giving him his Sunday name there, Vincent Jr. His dad, Vincent Sr. was, say, a professional player in his own right.
Well, you often say the difference between an NBA player and a professional at this level is the size. It's not so much the skill, it's the size. And VJ King has a great basketball body in the way he's built athletically. 6'7", 6'8", long wingspan, but he moves like someone who's 6 foot.
Nice little hesitation. Nelson can't finish, but another offensive rebound for the Sharks, and they get 2 more second chance points.
Love the energy from Nelson there, not giving up on the play, even though he missed the layup. Able to get his hands on the offensive rebound. Nice easy 2 for him.
Well, Sheffield haven't got as many offensive rebounds as the Flyers in this game, but they have got more second chance points. They're up to 10 in that regard. As Bell inside converts.
Wow. What a start from Bell here. Already up to 13 points. Sharks not making it easy for him, but he's managing to connect.
Nichols with a clumsy one gets called for his 3rd personal foul.
Yeah, it's been one of those evenings for him. Just cannot get in any type of rhythm offensively. He's struggled to slide into this second half. And it'd be interesting to see how long he keeps Kipper Nichols out there for.
You know, as a player, it's always tough when you're in that first half. You pick up, 1, 2, 3 quick ones, and sitting on the bench for multiple minutes, it's always tough to get your motor going again in that second half.
But it's one of those things as a coach you never. Oh my goodness! Nelson with a huge block, and again Delpesh from behind. What an incredible defensive play from Nelson.
I predict we'll be seeing that one many more times. Incredible. Nelson just skies up against the bigger, stronger offensive player. But the resistance there from Nelson. Wow.
Well, Kieran Achara is firing up his vocabulary over on the far side, I think. Here's Ratino for 3, and he knocks it down.
And there's the contagious feeling of positive vibes. You see your teammate do something miraculous on the one end of the floor. You want to go down and join the party, and Ratino hits a big 3 there.
Watson Gale. Bell is caught in 2 minds as to what to do with it. And hit the bottom of the net is always the best option.
You can sense a run coming there, and Thomas Bell has been Mr. Consistent in this game. 15 points now for him.
Nelson from the elbow, front iron. Oh, Nelson with another great defensive play to steal. Back to Delpesh for the 2-handed throwdown.
Nelson injecting energy in the game from the defensive end. Great anticipation and steal there, and a feed through to Delpesh, who says, thank you very much, guard. I'll take an easy jam.
King kicks it out. Watson Gale for 3. Big shot, Jelani Watson Gale.
he's been relatively quiet, hasn't he, by his standards. That one took a big shot. There's 3 points for Danny Watson-Gale this evening.
But he is an explosive scorer. When the first one goes in, you've got to watch out. Nelson out to Rotino for 3. In and out as the buzzer sounds for a good third quarter for the Bristol Flyers. They've won that period by 11 and have turned a deficit into a lead. Still 10 minutes to go here at Ponds Forge. Are the Flyers on their way to yet another win, or can the Sharks come back here in Sheffield? We'll have the fourth quarter when we return. Welcome back to Sheffield, where the Sharks trail the Flyers by 6 heading into the final period. It's the Flyers who will start with possession here in the last 10 minutes. Watson-Gale running in to Delpesh, and that's going to be his third personal foul.
Yeah, a little bit too over-aggressive there, I think. Blocking the path to Watson-Gale, who again, like you said, Danny, he's a guy that scores in bunches, and I think this is another problem you don't want to add to the equation here if you're on the Sharks team, is having a offensive talent like Watson-Gale inflicting damage on court.
Said he's one of those guys that when the first shot goes in, you really need to keep an eye on him, because he can fill it up in a hurry. And he's got all 5 of his points either side of the fourth quarter break.
What an excellent rookie year he's having in the British Basketball League. A prolific scorer, Division 2 NCAA, and averaging 12 points a game, shooting almost 40% from the 3-point line. A pivotal part of this Flyers' success so far this year.
Rotino late in the shot clock, gets it away, doesn't get the friendly roll. Smith at the top of the key, Ramsey with the rebound. Ramsey turns the Jets on, but Smith does enough. Bristol running the other way. Ollison with the transition three knocks it down, and the Flyers are up 11.
That hurts as well. Well, Ramsey's attacking the rim, doesn't get it to go, and Flyers push the basketball and get to an open three.
I think that's been the biggest difference for me with this Bristol Flyers team is they only hit 2 threes in the first half. All of a sudden have 5, with 4 in that third and 1 early in this fourth. So the ball's starting to drop for them.
Got to shoot. Nichols gets it away. Doesn't drop though. Game's starting to get a little bit away from the home team. Ollison now from behind the arc off the mark.
Sharks dodge a bullet there. Give the guy the open three, the one who's just hurt you, from the very spot.
Nichols at the foul line. 2 much needed points for Sheffield.
Big points there for Kipper Nichols. Guys been quiet this game, sat most of the game on the bench due to foul trouble, but able to get himself rolling here early in the fourth.
It's good mental toughness as well, isn't it? When you're in that dark place and you can't get anything to go, he's stayed positive, he's stayed persistent, he's got it to go.
Well, Ollison somehow got through there. It looked almost like he was going to lose the ball.
I'll tell you what, the Sharks are not making it easy for these Bristol Flyers, but great ability to finish the shots here.
Nelson got a little deep there, slightly under the rim. Mid-range from Ollison. They are scoring freely right now, the Bristol Flyers. They have started this quarter exactly the same way they finished the third, and suddenly they're out to 13 and the Tiber Lions has to call a timeout.
What a little spurt there from Kevin Ollison. This time pump fakes, get this defender in the air, and the comfortableness of pull-up jump shots there to extend this lead to 13.
I think that's a testament to this Bristol Flyers team, just how unselfish they are, the ability to move the ball. They don't look like a team full of egos. They look like a team that just wants to win. Their, willingness to share the ball, and any man can step up and make a shot. Here we go. We've got 3 guys in double figures already.
I didn't know what type of Bristol Flyers team we were going to get today as well. It was a crushing defeat that they had at home against Surrey Scorchers. A team like this with their early successes, they would have felt like they had a good shot of making it to a trophy final. Instead, they get knocked out on their home court to the Surrey Scorchers, and you never know what you're going to get in the game after. You're going to get that wounded animals still feeling sorry for themselves. But I think this is a team that perhaps maybe brought them closer, because the way that they've played, like you're saying, right, they've played together today, they've played positively, and it seems like a team on a mission here to keep firm in the league.
From a Sharks perspective, what do you think a Tiber Lions can do here? What's the roll of the dice that he takes now?
I think, we definitely have got to stop the bleeding, so getting out to those shooters and making sure that the right rotations are happening. Let's force them off the line and trust our help side defense. But on the offensive end, to me, it just looks like maybe they're getting a little bit too sped up. Trust, be able to slow it down and get the balls to the spots on offense, and couple too many shots being shot within the first 1-2 passes of the possession. You've got to be able to play at 2 speeds.
Here's Cook stumbling through, and there's going to be a foul on Delpesh, who went down looking for the charge, and I think in doing that committed the foul on the floor. Yeah, I think it's a trip foul more than anything else. You're not convinced, Aaron?
I'm just going to stay interested and leave it at that. I don't know.
Great call.
A flop. I think a flop would be more appropriate than a trip, in my opinion. But
well, they're not going to give him shots, which is an interesting one, because once you pick the ball up, you're in your shooting motion, and that's the question the Tiber Lions is asking. If he's picked the ball up, what's he doing? Ramsey at the top of the key, strings it.
It's another big play from Ramsey, and well, they're trying to put points on the board here. Ramsey's popped up, and the more points he gets, the more confidence he's going to get. It's 5 points for him now.
Bell. It's good defense from Nichols, but another offensive rebound. Delpesh with the rebound. Cook goes down, clutching his face, but Ramsey is running it back. He's fouled. Cook is back to his feet, but clutching his nose in all of that. Nobody's happy. Coach Kapoulis thinks there's not a foul, and let's see if we see what happens here. Ooh, that'll hurt.
The old Glasgow hello.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. And as you can see Ramsey just pushing the basketball the other end of the floor and actually gets fouled, so he earns himself a trip to the free throw line.
Yeah, just again to note the speed of Ramsey. How quickly did he get up the other end? Good plays there. The play before, a little pull up, 18-footer. Ramsey trying to put the team on his back a little bit here, get them back in the game. But obviously I have the luxury of being able to stop in and see the Sharks in training all week. And this is the stuff he's been doing consistently in training all week.
Mike Miller will return to the game for the Flyers.
Ramsey's certainly added an interesting dynamic to the Sharks team. He was at the Stockton Kings, which is the affiliate of NBA team Sacramento Kings. He wasn't a prolific scorer in college, but as we can see, his defensive effort here is remarkable, and he rebounds the ball really well. He's the shortest player on the court, by the way. He's got 6 rebounds, and he snacks some big ones.
Miller likes this time in the game, doesn't he? He knocks down another shot.
Yeah, big play from Mike Miller there, straight off the bench. Wastes no time.
Nichols on the low block. Who lost his footing, needs a bit of help here. Gets it away eventually, but it's too low for Cook to get his hands on. And away come the Flyers in transition with the quick score.
Yeah, it's a crippler for Sharks there, and an excellent outlet pass there. And Ollison at the moment, one of the hottest players on court, catches and finishes.
Lobbed into Cook. That's a great pass and a good finish as well.
That's great to see there. Obviously, the big fella working hard underneath the basket, and he's rewarded with a nice little lob pass and easy finish. The Sharks' offense here has dried up here in this second half.
Miller. Yeah, another difficult shot that he makes look easy.
He loves these close-out games, doesn't he, Mike Miller? Big play again from him.
7 of 9 shooting for his 14 points and 6 rebounds. That is a foul called against Delpesh, and I think that's his 5th, and he's got a technical on the way out the door as well. And a big grin on his brother's face at the other end of the floor, by the way.
Oh, it's been a frustrating season for him. And you can even see, I remember after foul 2 or 3, you could see him go back to the bench. Just one of those evenings. And he's had a really tough cover. You know, Bennett Cook does this to every other big man in the league, and he's just one of these guys. I think he would really get under your skin just because he's so gifted in and around the basket.
Well, Glasgow will shoot a free throw for the technical, and then it will be a sideline ball to Sheffield. Cook has sat down for a few minutes. Here's another look at it. So I think Cook's beat him on the first step, and then he's going sideways.
The off arm there as well. We've seen that get called as an offensive foul, and perhaps the frustrations for Delpesh sitting there now fouled out, and maybe warranted.
Is Ramsey off the mark for 3. Rising highest is Thomas Bell the 3rd. Miller cross court to Ollison, who thinks about it. Stolen away by Delpesh, but he's out of call.
Everything needs to go right here now for the Sharks. Little plays like that. It just feels like whenever they go on a run, Flyers are able to respond. And that's a great call.
Yep. Just the side of his foot on the line. It's a great piece of camera work as well.
Yeah, compliments all around.
Coach Kapoulas is going to call a timeout. 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go. His team are up 12. Busy night in the British Basketball League. All 10 teams in action. Just about all the games have finished. I'll just give you the scores. Caledonia, 16-point winners over Plymouth. London, despite having a relatively short-looking roster, no Decker, no Kufos, no Taylor, no Soko, no problems. They were 21-point winners at Surrey. Good start and a good finish by Newcastle. Unfortunately, in the middle, Manchester ran away from them, and they couldn't get all the way back. Newcastle 92, Manchester 97, and Leicester are 20-odd seconds away from winning. They are up 20 at home against Cheshire. But I'm led to believe that their new signing, Devontae Bandu, has picked up an injury in that game. And obviously Leicester have the cup final next week, so they'll be hoping it's not very serious.
All of their troops close to full health when they face that formidable London Lions team who have looking full flow, and as you say, Dan, even with alternative lineups still dominantly beating other teams. Surrey Scorchers, a team who are high on confidence too after beating the Bristol Flyers.
And the other thing about that Surrey win against Bristol is that's been coming for like 4 or 5 weeks. They've been there or thereabouts, not quite finished out some games that they could have won. They ended up losing some close ones. So it wasn't an anomalous victory, if you like, but they've been well handled by London by the looks of it.
Mike Miller has been the closer, hasn't he? Just taking it upon himself just to make sure there's no hope left in the Sharks.
It's Marcus Delpesh trying to go to work against Smith, and Smith doing the good job defensively. Here's Smith. Lobbed in, got to go up. It's a little bit short. Martino with the rebound.
He did a good job to hit the rim there. He was kind of caught it in motion, already spinning.
Nice pass. And a foul. I think it's going to be on Miller rather than Smith, but we'll wait for the number from the referee. 23 shown to the table, which is Mike Miller's number, and his third foul. You see, comes down. There you go. It's pretty obvious from that angle, isn't it?
That's a good play from Mike Miller as well. Again, Delpesh, 50% free throw shooter. Mike Miller's done very little wrong in this quarter, by the way.
Again, we talked about it. I think it was when Malcolm was at the free throw line in the first half. Marcus is not. This is not the strongest part of his game. He is shooting slightly better than his brother this season, but you might save yourself a point by committing a foul like that.
No, again, a smart play from Mike Miller, because if you don't foul a player like Marcus Delpesh there, he just rises up and dunks it.
Well, he makes them both that time. He will be replaced by Bennett Cook, but it's less than 3 minutes to play for the Sharks to try and find some 12 points to get back into this. Miller, nice pass to Smith for two.
Here we go. This time he's playing orchestra and able to pass the ball down low to Leslie Smith with good inside positioning. Strong finish.
Nichols back to Nelson. Nelson has it pulled away. They've got numbers here, Bristol. And the follow from King is tipped in, and King now past 20. He has shot 8 for 9 from the floor.
What I like about VJ King as well, he hasn't continued to shoot the basketball at high volume. He's letting his teammates take control like a Mike Miller, and VJ King there on the putback finish adds to his tally.
Well, the question in the early weeks of the season was, how will Bristol do when they go on the road? Because their schedule was very home dominant in the first few months of the championship season. But a performance like this, in a building like this, which is no easy place to come, they're going to probably get 90-something on the board against a good defensive team. That home form looks like it might travel as well.
No, really convincing performance from the Flyers. And remember, in that first half, it wasn't without the adversity. They were down 10, and Sharks were feeling pretty good about themselves. And that's a point of a game where, you know, if you throw in the towel, you go down into the half, you know, I don't know, down 15, 16, and you know, those are hard to come back from. But you know, third quarter, they were the team that punched first. And the Flyers been very convincing both ends of the floor in the second half.
47 points in the second half on the road. It's a good return. Rotino for 3. Doesn't go. Smith with the rebound. Bristol a minute and some change away from another victory. Beautiful pass to the corner. Rotino with the rebound.
It really is. Mike Miller, give him the basketball, because when you do, good things happen.
That's going to be on Cook there. He got a little shove and he tried to set a backward screen. So it's not much legal about that.
Mike Miller's done for this evening, and what a shift he's put in. 16 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. An index of 27. And boy, did he make some big ones down the stretch. Good night for him.
Well, some confusion on a substitution here for Sheffield. Saka was coming in. It wasn't clear who was coming out. In the end, it was Cook. Bell trying to find a way to basket and doing so.
Thomas Bell, I really like his game. Whatever the team needs, he does, and he's so gifted as well once he goes up the rim.
Ramsey off the mark, Bell with the rebound. And Bristol are being waved forward by Kapoulas, Coach Kapoulas, to get 2 more points, obviously in the 4-game season series. Basket difference can matter. And King trying to get it. And they do get a score with Bell laying in on the buzzer. And Sheffield will say that's enough. But what a second half by the Bristol Flyers. They've scored 51 second half points to actually win going away here.
They've been great, Dan, and as I said, it wasn't without their trials and tribulations in the first half. It took them a while to find their flow, and they overcame that in the second half. They were a completely different outfit in that they increased their production offensively, but I thought defensively they were so much more cohesive and made things difficult for this Sharks team.
And the thing that will please him again is it's so many different guys at different times. We saw King at times, particularly in the first half, dominating thing. Miller down the stretch, Bell at times, Ollison came in and made some shots. They had a lot of different contributions.
Yeah, and that'll be the most pleasing, I think, to Coach Kapoulas there. And you know, not only have you got your key man VJ King leading the way with 21 points, but you know, some stellar performances there. Mike Miller again, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He was fantastic down the stretch.
Well, a very pleasing evening for Coach Kapoulas and the Bristol Flyers. And when you take a look at the numbers, you can see the numbers for Sheffield went down a little bit. They went up in the second half for the Bristol Flyers. 62% from field goal range when you crash the boards like them is a great number. And that is really the reason that they were able to win this game, because they were getting the offensive rebounds, but were shooting the ball really well as well.
Yeah, as we say it, Bristol Flyers playing Bristol Flyers basketball 1 through 5, crashing those boards and just slowly eating all the hope out of the Sharks. And again, I can't say it enough. I think Mike Miller was that key piece for them down the stretch.
He certainly was. Mike Miller, 16.7 rebounds, 6 assists, couple of steals in there as well. He's with Mike Tuck.
Mike, big win for yourself and the Flyers. Let's get your initial thoughts of this game.
It was a great way to bounce back from last week, get knocked out in a trophy. And, we got something to prove every game. So that's our mindset, no matter who it is. And obviously we got a big doubleheader coming up to maintain our spot at the top of the league table.
Obviously, the last time you saw the Sharks, it was a win for the Sharks at your place, and obviously you guys lost in the trophy last week. How much did those games kind of play into today?
It all kind of puts things into perspective. Every game's going to look different. Every lineup is going to look different. Different guys got to step on different nights.
That ball's acting different today.
And this was a prime example. Just doing what my team need from me. Whether that's getting 10 assists, 10 rebounds, or scoring, taking on the scoring load. So
you guys look like a team that plays unselfish, not a lot of egos. It doesn't matter who it takes to win. Is that kind of the mantra of this squad?
Oh yeah, that's what makes a team special. It's especially on a professional level. A lot of guys are new and one and done, and it's all about numbers and trying to get a good start for your career. But you got genuine good guys, good teammates, great character, and that's going to take the team as far as anything can.
And let's dive into that a little bit. You're obviously a guy who's been on the team for multiple years now. What's the biggest difference between last year's team and this year's team?
I think this year we established more of a foundation of what we wanted to do. Especially with me returning, Malcolm returning, Corey. A nice foundation, and then trying to get new guys going along smoothly.
You guys are one of those teams that have come out and really defied the odds this season. Do you guys feel like you got a target on your back now?
You was one of them, so I think anything that we do is not going to really be noticed until we actually complete our end goal, which is to win a league championship. So however that happens, that's what we want to do.
And it wasn't just you out there tonight. A lot of different guys like Bell stepped up, but also another big teammate of yours, VJ King. Oh, yeah. A word on his game tonight.
Yeah, he's been super consistent. He's been super consistent for us, doing what he do. A killer, and then TB as well. He does works on both ends. He's like the Draymond Green of the team, just doing all the dirty work and getting bucks as well. None of it goes unnoticed.
Mike, congrats on the win. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, I appreciate y'all.
You better be careful leaving the Shark Tank tonight, Kieran Achara, because if Mike's got a target on his back, so have you, I think.
Yeah, definitely. No, but honestly, Mike Miller came to play tonight, battle injury through the last season and this season, but just when he gets to his spot, he's so calm. That little mid-range jump shot, takes his time, just finding these spots. Like I said, it's just money. He just could not miss.
We often talk about players that galvanise, that act as a catalyst for a turnaround in the team's performance. He was absolutely that in the second half. And you look at the all-round numbers, 16.7 boards, 6 assists. We talked at the top of the show about his injury issues last year. He's fully fit, absolutely rolling right now. And he mentioned in that interview the foundation that they have here. There's real cohesion and identity with his Flyers side.
For sure, and they know what to expect. I always say that when you get a core group who have been in the league, who understand the league, they understand the travel, they understand the referees, they understand different players and different teams. It gives them a clearer vision of what they need to achieve, and I think they came in with that vision, that kind of that drive. And Kapoulis was obviously pushing them in the right direction, saying this is what you are capable of doing, and they went and been able to achieve that this season.
I'd love to find out what Coach Kapoulis said to his players at halftime. Maybe we'll find out now because he's courtside with Mike.
Coach, obviously here a big win in Sheffield. Let's get your initial reaction to the game.
Well, I thought it was a really tough performance from us. We cut down turnovers from the first half. We only had 3 in the second half. We moved the ball a lot better. But also that 12-0 run at the end of the first half, going into that third quarter, 5-0, kind of going into halftime, and then 7-0 to start the third quarter. I think that was crucial. But it happened with hard-nosed defense, moving the basketball. And when we do that, we look good.
Yeah, let's dive into that a little bit deeper. The Sharks obviously finding their offensive flow in that first half, but your third and fourth quarters really stepped up. What did you say to the guys at halftime?
It was just kind of re-emphasizing the game plan, keeping them to a half-court game and protecting the lane. We felt like in the first half they got a lot of paint touches and they were able to generate looks. And also our turnovers helped them. They got 11 points off our 8 turnovers in the first half. So cutting down turnovers was very important so we can keep them to a half-court game.
And let's talk into the man of the match here, Mike Miller. How important is he to this squad?
He's a great leader, first of all, on and off the court. And today he stepped up a big time, sometimes distributing the ball, making some big shots and big plays for us on both ends of the court, either scoring the basketball or defending. This is the reason we brought him back. This is the reason why he's our captain. He steps up on those big moments.
It wasn't just him, though. I had guys like Bell and obviously VJ King. How about King's performance tonight?
King played really well. He was plus-minus, I think, 23, if I'm correct, something like that. And VJ has the ability to create offense for us. And you talked about TB, Thomas Bell as well, but also Tevin Olsen coming off the bench. I think we had a lot of contributions, and I think that's a really important part of our game, having multiple guys contributing.
We talked a little bit about it off air. The preseason picks, has that been a motivator for you guys all season?
Certainly at the start of the season. Understand we're a young team. Average age is 24. So we were expecting kind of people not to be counting on us, but we have a tough group, we have a talented group, guys that are prepared to play for each other. And I think that goes a long way. It is a bit of a motivation factor, let's be honest, but at the same time, at the moment for us is focusing on the process and just improving as a team week by week.
And now a team at the beginning of the season where you had that more of an underdog mentality, but now you're sitting up there at the top of the table. Do you feel like you have more of a target on your back?
Of course. Every game we know teams will bring it. It's a tough league. Every game is big. There's no times when you can take off. And, I think for us, the underdog mentality is always there. That's part of our DNA as Bristol anyway. But certainly, it's great to see where we are, but we want to keep on going.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, to stay up there in title contention, that's what they've got to do. Obviously, is keep on, one game at a time, as we often hear from coaches. But I'm fascinated in your perspective, because at the top of this show, we said we've got to talk about them as title contenders, even if they're long shots in that conversation. And I think many British basketball fans looking at the BBL table will look at Leicester as the biggest threat to London. Do we have to start considering Bristol on equal footing as a serious threat?
We definitely do, and that's the crazy thing about being an underdog and a team who's defying the odds, as you say. You're kind of waiting for them to fall off, and they're refusing to fall off. They're sticking with it. They're sticking to the game plan. They're staying together as a team. They're attacking the basket, being relentless on the glass, playing some defense. That hasn't stopped. So I think that's really, really crucial that we start looking at them as a team that deserves to be there because of what they're producing week in, week out.
Okay, I want to drill down a bit more into how Bristol turned it round in the second half, because it really was a Jekyll and Hyde performance from then. It would be interesting to hear what Coach Atiba Lyons, the Sharks head coach, thinks changed in the second half. Let's find out, because he's courtside with Mike.
Coach Lyons, let's rewind back to that first half. 45 points for the Sharks in that first half. What was going well for you guys there?
I thought we got in transition and finished a little bit. Benji had a nice little spurt. We got some post moves and finished some things around the rim, and our shots dropped. So it was a good all-around kind of effort in the first half.
And a kind of a tale of two halves here. What went wrong after halftime?
I thought we took bad shots. I thought our guards forced bad early shots. We could have got the whole offense. And we missed some easy kind of entry pass to the post, and then we took bad shots, and the guards got to do better than that.
2 new players in the roster tonight. How did they integrate into the squad?
I thought they did well. Ty's a little bit newer than DeVrell. He for first week of practice, he did okay. He had some mistakes, but that's to be expected as a rookie in a week of practice. And DeVrell was solid, did what I wanted him to do, and made some good plays. So it was a good first game for them, I think.
And the Sharks obviously, looking to score more, and that's why you brought in these new players. The first half scoring was looking great. Second half, how do you build on that? How do you get better?
I don't care about scoring. I want to win. That's first off. So if we win the same way we won before, I'm fine. I just want to win. It's not about necessarily scoring. I think if we're going to play selfish basketball like we did in the second half, we're going to be a team that's poorer than the first half before we made these changes. And there'll be more changes if that's the case.
A tough one here tonight, but no time to hang your heads. You're down in London on Sunday. How are you approaching that game?
We got something now to look at. We have a good game against a good team. We haven't had film yet to kind of break down and analyze the style of play, which is going to change inevitably. So we got to look at that. But the guys that were returning were disappointing, and they've got to pick it up.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Thanks.
That is 6 losses on the bounce now. Now, we talked at the top about how they have been on rolls, then on a tilt, then on a roll again. So we know this team can do it, but how does he bring his team up after this kind of run?
Well, I think it was quite interesting what you're saying, that he's saying that he doesn't care about scoring, he cares about winning. Well, you need to score to win. You know, they go in ruts that they're just so tentative, and I think sometimes they're trying to force the ball into the post. It's very, very difficult because teams are expecting them to do that. So they can't be as one-dimensional, in my opinion, if they want to continue to try and make a run and get back into this.
One-dimensional offensively, but of course the Sharks defensively are always up there in the higher echelons of the BBL. This season is no exception. So how impressive was this Bristol performance offensively? They racked up over 90 points against him.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to what Atiba Lyons was saying about trying to force quick shots. If you're then missing the shots, Bristol Flyers were off to the races, and that's what we said that was going to be their game plan from the get-go. Force some bad shots from Sheffield and then get out and score on the break. So though Bristol found a good way to score, and they were relentless on the glass in that second half as well, which was the difference maker. And
we knew that is, of course, a key part of their game plan. It came together. Another key part of their game plan this season, which has been underpinning their success, and we heard it from Coach Kapoulis in his interview a bit earlier on with Mike, has been contributions from a number of players on the court, and tonight was no exception. VJ King was very close to being our MVP. 21 points, 26 efficiency, and lethal shooting from all angles.
Lethal, you know, and he does so many things well, and he's so, like I said, he's so relaxed. You know, it's like he's never phased, and I think that's a real credit to his game and the work he puts into his game to being the best player he can be.
And we heard Mike Miller say how consistent, super consistent, I think is exactly what he said about him. And that's exactly what we saw tonight. He was just absolutely tempered all the way through the game.
Yep, and stepped up when he had to, without breaking a sweat. So that's impressive. That's impressive.
Particularly. Thomas Bell III, another player, another one of these Flyers with a double-digit performance. 17 to, oh, my bad. So, no, it's a 19 for him, my bad. 19 points for him. 4 players of the Flyers in double digits. Once again, he was stepping up.
Yeah, Mr. Do-It-All. You know, I was watching him grab some offensive rebounds, playing above the rim. He was playing defence, a little spin move, making a little mid-range jump shot. Like, look at him, ball through his legs, attacking the basket. He just found ways to score and find a way to fit into this team, which is so important.
Do you feel there's enough depth in this Bristol's roster? Because starting 5, and we're seeing contributions consistently from a number of the key players, but to go the long run, to go deep in the title run, is there enough depth here?
I do believe they're such a very well put together team. Credit to Coach Kapoulis, he's really recruited well, and they have a deep squad who can all contribute.
Interesting as well what Mike Miller said about the trophy defeat and how that motivated them in a way that might be a good thing for them in terms of their title ambitions.
Yes and no, because I genuinely believe they had a good run in the trophy to make to the final.
Right.
So, you know, I think they had one of the easier run-ins to the final. So I think that will be, it's bitter, you know, bittersweet. But at the same time, they get to focus on the league now.
Difference between me and you, big man. Glass half full, glass half empty.
Yeah, I didn't win anything either way, so it makes no difference.
Well, let's stick with glass half full as far as the Sharks are concerned and look at some of the positives from tonight's performance. Jordan Rottino, I think, the stand-up player, although out of his 16 points, most of the heavy lifting, as we discussed at half-time, done in the first half.
Yeah, and you know what? I think he got off to such a good start, and I genuinely believe when Sheffield Sharks were pushing the ball and then kicking the ball out, it allowed players like Jordan to really step up and find that range and get these open looks. He didn't get those open looks in that second half because the game was so stagnant.
We've got to talk about the Bristol defence. I mean, holding Sheffield to just 28 points in the second half. We celebrated their offence, and rightly so, but it was a brilliant defensive performance from them.
Definitely, and you know, they just took it up to another level, and and Sheffield did not respond to that. They were still trying to force the ball inside and couldn't get those interior passes, and they really struggled and didn't know what to do after that. So credit to Coach Kapoulis and Bristol to really ramping up their defence in that second half.
We talked about the Sharks offence being one-dimensional, perhaps too often. They've relied on a couple of players in particular to get things going, and most notably the side Nelson all season long. And again, that was very much the case tonight. But again, like J-Rat, most of the damage done in the first half.
Yeah, you know what? I think he got off to the races at the start. He's getting some good baskets, getting some good looks. But when Bristol Flyers decided to clog the paint in that second half, there was no real lane for Saeed Nelson to get to, and his three-point shot wasn't dropping, and that's been one of his inconsistencies this season is the three-point shot. So I think that Bristol Flyers again made a great adjustment, but that big block, that was something to remind him, and that could be next week definitely player of the week. That could be up there.
That's interesting. All right, sticking that in. Ty Flowers, quick line on him, landed a big three, so showed flashes, but didn't really deliver on promise.
Yeah, I was watching him. I was really kind of focusing on him, trying to watch his movement. I felt that he was again a little bit stagnant. You can see that he can clearly shoot the 3-point shot, but it's trying to find those spots. I didn't see any kind of effort for those offensive rebounds or trailing back on defence. So I'm curious to see how he'll fit into this squad.
All right, one more silver lining for the Sheffield Sharks. In follow me on this glass half full kind of tip. Play of the day. You've gone for Saeed Nelson.
This play, shorter guard, right up there, not in my house, not in the Shark Tank. Saeed Nelson, that play was, as Drew Lasker would say, nasty.
That's what you get for play of the day. I'm with you now. I'm starting to follow and pick this up. You get Alaska nasty for that, but watch this space, because next week, as Kieran might have already shown his hand on what might be play of the week. Right, let's cap tonight's show by looking across the rest of the BBL and get you up to speed on the scores. You'll like this one, big man. Caledonia destroying Plymouth, 16-point margin there, 96-80 the final there. Newcastle put up a fight against the Manchester Giants, but Vince McCauley's men get the job done, 97-92 the final there. The London Lions warming up nicely for next Sunday's Cup final with a 21-point win over Surrey, who remain bottom of the table. And speaking of warming up for the Cup final, Leicester putting up a ton against the Cheshire Phoenix. Rob Paternoster's offense in its groove ahead of the big showdown next week, in confirmation, of course, of our results, 91-73, the final here in Sheffield. So top of the table, London remain on top. Bristol keeping pace, certainly as far as the points are concerned, though. Look at that. London have 4 games in hand, but as we said at the top, with Mike Tuck, London have got a very, very packed schedule. So Bristol doing all they can right now, and Leicester keeping up the pace as well. 26 points. They sit in third. 6 games now lost in a row for Sheffield means they are perilously close to that bottom 2 and falling out of the playoffs for the first time in over 20 years. Would you believe? Surely we're not going to see that. Other fixtures this weekend include Bristol back in action again against Newcastle on Sunday. The Lions take on the Sharks, and Cheshire, Manchester, the final game of the 3 on Sunday. Just time to remind you about next Sunday's big one, the showpiece WBBL and BBL Cup final, coming to you live from Birmingham. We're on air at 11:30 with all the build-up. It is Leicester London in both of those. The first big silverware of the season will be decided. So make sure you join us for that one. We are looking forward to it. But tonight was all about the BBL Championship and the Bristol Flyers laying down a marker once again. Kieran, look after yourself. I'll see you in Bristol. We'll see you there as well. Bye for now.